Hey guys, welcome back to In the Alley. My name is Cody, where tonight we're going to be previewing the Friday night games of the Indoor Football League in Week 5. Iowa at Massachusetts, and the San Antonio Gunslingers traveling to Vegas. So, without further ado, the timestamps will be right here. Let's get into it. We'll go with preview number 1, early game, Iowa at Massachusetts. Alright, so let's go with the earlier game. 6:05 Central Time on YouTube and Caffeine TV, so adjust your time zone accordingly. Friday, April 12th, from the Tsongas Center in Lowell, Massachusetts, the Iowa Barnstormers, their third game in a row on the road, taking on the Massachusetts Pirates. You see the stats and everything popping up here, and it's just been kind of a whirlwind for both of these teams. One team kind of going in the right direction, the other team kind of going in the wrong direction. You look at the leaders when it comes to the offensive stats. Benefield has played one more game, so Massachusetts has played one more game, so they're probably going to have more stats, but fairly even offensively when you look at Massachusetts. Pretty even running the ball. Jimmy Robinson with almost 200 yards. Isaac Zico with 144 receiving yards, so he's about a quarter of what Benefield has been throwing. Benefield's been kind of throwing the ball all around. 12 total touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. He's making a name for MVP if you're saying anything like that this early. On the other side, Darius James-Peterson just trying to get it going. He's your leading rusher and your leading passer. The offense has kind of sputtered a little bit to start the season. They can get it going, but Kean Williams right there, 7 catches, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He had a pretty good game last week against Tulsa. Look for a little bit more of the same here. Defensively, Massachusetts has just been pretty good, even though the stats don't necessarily say that they are. Julius Turner, only 5 tackles. I think the defensive line should really get going in this game. Calvin Bundage, Matt Elam, those are your leading tacklers, linebacker, and defensive backs. So on the Iowa side, Ty Tate, 3.5 tackles. Christian Russell, 6.5. He played last week. Ian McBurrow, I believe, was either injured or just he didn't play. And Jefferson Fritz, that's the surprise name we probably need to look at. And you see him down below as the players to watch. 22.5 tackles. They've played 2 games. He's averaging over 10 tackles a game. So it'll be fun. Players to watch here. I've got Darius James-Peterson for Iowa. He just has to be the guy. Massachusetts doesn't have that good of a pass defense. They do, but they don't. Like I said, when you look at the stats, they are one of the worst pass defenses. They're kind of below average, but Iowa's not really throwing the ball a lot. Like, they're kind of trying to be balanced, but like I said, that's where you have to get Kean Williams into this game. This is where you have to get Trey Long into this game. I mean, you can keep him offset with Peterson running and keep him offset with Robert Washington running, but you don't think Massachusetts does the exact same thing in their practices. It's going to be tough to try and be that balanced offense, but you got to keep them off. You got to keep Massachusetts' defense off balance here. When you look at the Massachusetts side, like I said, it's just more of the same offensively for them. You have to be able to throw the ball, run the ball. Iowa's all right defensively. They're not the best. They're not the worst. They're just kind of there. And I think if Massachusetts just keeps more of the same, just nice and steady Eddie, I think Massachusetts can pull away with this game. Massachusetts is very, very good at throwing the ball. Massachusetts is very, very good at running the ball. They are the 4th best passing offense, the 2nd best rushing offense, and look for more of the same here. Now, that being said, defensively, like I said, you have to have Jefferson Fritz covering Zico or covering Thomas Owens or whoever they have over there. On the flip side, if you're going to try and get Kean Williams going, you need to have Eugene Ford or Matt Elam or someone getting on that end. Calvin Bundage needs to wrap up Peterson. He needs to wrap up Robert Washington and not let the running game get going. When you look at the running game for both of these teams, they both run the ball decently, but I think Massachusetts just has a little bit more of an edge when it comes to rushing the ball. I just think Massachusetts is more of an even team. When we'll do predictions and stuff later, but you can kind of see where I'm hinting at it with this. I think Massachusetts is just a little bit more well-rounded as of right now. We look at the series history down below. Massachusetts leads 3-2. You wouldn't know it with their last meeting, 73-43. Iowa destroyed them in their last meeting, week 9 of 2023, and I believe that was almost a full year ago. It's like maybe 11 months ago or something like that. So it's been a while, but Iowa destroyed them. I believe that was their first win on the season last year. So maybe a little bit more magic from the Barnstormers to get their first win this year. Not too sure. Betting lines, Massachusetts 14.5 point favorites. Money line is locked. Over under 81.5. That being said, let's go take a look at the 25-man rosters. We'll look at our bets. We'll go talk to Aaron, and we'll do a second preview. All right, 25-man rosters popping up here. And when I did a little bit of research looking on the team websites and stuff, I didn't see Caleb Brewer's name on Iowa's roster. I don't know if he is there. I saw that they just signed Christopher Oakley. He played with Quad City last year, so he might be filling into that slot. If not, Arthur Randall will probably pick up that spot. But kind of weird. They just did like a rookie spotlight on him. I don't know if he's still with the team or if he's injured or whatever the case could be. But as always, I forgot to mention 21-man rosters that you see right here are from the previous starters of the last game. I don't know who's starting these games. Kind of what we just have to deal with right here. But not much has changed for Massachusetts. They're still kind of just chugging along. They signed Adonis Boone. You see him at the very bottom there, 78 offensive lineman. Other than that, not really much else to talk about when it comes to either roster. They're just kind of probably going to do more of the same here, barring anything out of the wild. All right, best bet, minus 14.5. And it's a big number. It's a big number. Iowa lost by 11 to Green Bay. They lost by 8 to Tulsa. Massachusetts is won by 4 against Green Bay. You know, they've been kind of chugging along a little bit. But I just think that Massachusetts, I think the offense is there, man. You look at this offense, I think they can attack this defense, especially if Caleb Brewer's not up there, especially if they're, I just think that this offense is more well-equipped to handle the defense of Iowa than vice versa. I don't think Iowa's offense is equipped to handle Massachusetts' defense. I think this is a good get-right game for Massachusetts' defense. Not saying they've been bad, but ultimately I think Massachusetts probably has the upper hand here. They're at home. They've been a rocket home. I believe when I read the preview, they've got 9 straight wins going back to when they played at the DCU Center. So I look for Massachusetts to win. You can't bet the money line. I'm going minus 14.5. I don't know. I don't necessarily trust the over-under. I got to go with Massachusetts here. So let's go check out our second preview. We'll go talk to Aaron and get our predictions, and we'll get on out of here. All right, preview number 2, 9:05 Central Time, YouTube and Caffeine TV. Lee's Family Forum in Henderson, Nevada. Gone is the Dollar Loan Center. We got a new name, baby. San Antonio Gunslingers 0-2. The Vegas Nighthawks 2-0. Is something going to give this week? Let's find out. Sam Castronova is your leading rusher and your leading passer, alongside Jerome Johnson of Vegas. They both are their leading rusher and passers. Now, Castronova has been kind of a bright spot for San Antonio's offense, being able to run and pass. 338 yards, 9 touchdowns, 73 rushing yards with 5 rushing touchdowns, 14 total touchdowns. Jerome Johnson has 9 touchdowns of his own. And when you look at the leading receivers for both teams, Nyquan Murray, only 79 yards on 4 catches, but he's only played 1 game. Quentin Randolph, 9 catches, 147 yards, but he only has 1 touchdown. Probably need to get him into the end zone a little bit more, but that's what the games are for, right? Defensively, Shamori Wallace leads defensive lineman for San Antonio. 7 tackles, 1.5 tackles for a loss, and he did that just in the last game. He didn't play in the season opener. He just did that last week. So here's more of that from him. When you look at the Vegas side, just quite a bit of tackling. The defense has kind of been there for Vegas this year, and you look for a little bit more of the same in this game. I think it's Mikel Calhoun, 12 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, and 1 pass breakup in the linebacker spot. He's been all over this season for him. Roderick Chapman, 11.5 tackles, 1 pass breakup. He's going to be kind of a key cog, and you see it down there in the players to watch. He's going to have to help, taper down the passing game of San Antonio. Let's take a look at the players to watch here. Sam Castronova, I've got him highlighted. I think I've had him highlighted before. I'm not necessarily sure. But last game against Northern Arizona, 12 of 21, 199 yards and 5 touchdowns. 10 rushes, only 9 yards, 1 touchdown. We'll talk about the rushing stats here in a bit. Linebacker Zach Brown, player to watch. 6 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 fumble recovery. He's going to have to probably get after it if he's in that linebacker spot. You got to deal with a dual threat quarterback. So he's going to have to be able to play coverage. He's going to have to be able to blitz. He's going to have to go sideline to sideline if they're going to be running the ball, whether it's Tareen Taylor, whether it's Antonio Wimbush, or if it's Jerome Johnson. I think he's going to start. We'll talk about that on the 25-man roster. On the Vegas side, I alluded to it. Quentin Randolph, 5 catches, 57 yards, 0 touchdowns. It's not a bad stat line, but I feel if you want to win this game, you've got to get him the ball a little bit more and get him into the end zone. Jerome Johnson's been able to do it by himself, rushing and passing, but I think in order to really keep San Antonio's defense honest, getting Randolph more involved, like making him the go-to guy, is really going to help this offense succeed if they want to win the game. Defensively, like I said, Roderick Chapman, 5.5 tackles, 1 pass breakup. He's got to be the guy. I don't, like I said, we'll talk 25-man roster. We never know who's starting, so I could say someone else, like it could be Kevin Moore, it could be Caesar, it could be anyone like that, and we don't know if they're playing. So I'm pretty sure these guys are all playing, at least to my knowledge. I think Chapman's going to have to be the guy to either shut down Naquan Murray, shut down Callie Rashad, Upshaw, Myers, whoever he's covering, lock them down and make sure that this team for San Antonio is one-dimensional, force them to run. When you look at the series history, they haven't played each other. But this is where the issues come into. For San Antonio, they have not rushed the ball very well. I looked at the stats yesterday, and teams that outrush the other team are 15-4 on the season. San Antonio ran for 10 yards last week. I believe that was the thing. 10 total yards last week. And I think if Vegas can control the clock here, I think they could potentially not run away with this one, but they could pretty much have a commanding win in this. We'll talk about that, best bet, predictions, all of that stuff. But I think the running game for San Antonio really has to get after it this week if they want a shot at winning. Speaking of shots at winning, Vegas is a 7.5-point favorite. Moneyline favors the Nighthawks minus 270, and the over-under is a blistering 102.5. They are expecting points in this one. They are expecting both teams to put up probably over 50 points each. So that being said, let's go take a look at the 25-man rosters. We will look at our best bet. We'll go talk to Aaron, and we will get on out of here. All right, so 25-man rosters popping up here, and like I've said, Iowa preview and everything before that, these are just your 21 starters from the previous game. Things change. We don't know who's currently starting. Again, no transactions page or anything. I just have to go off team websites and what information I can get. That being said, though, I'm not sure what San Antonio is going to do. They had Cornelius Lewis as a defensive lineman in the first game. He was an offensive lineman in the last game. You've brought in C.J. Jones. Victor Hampton comes over from Iowa. You brought in Naquan Murray. Callie Rashad was on the bench. Kind of curious to see how they kind of tinker with the offense and defense for this game. On the Vegas side, I did not see Joe Mancuso on the roster, which is, kudos to Vegas and kudos to the teams that actually update their roster and keep them updated. I did not see Joe Mancuso on the roster, so I don't know if he's playing. I did see on Vegas's preview for this game that They were kind of hinting at Jerome Johnson starting, so hopefully the injury that he sustained against Jacksonville wasn't too serious. Maybe it was just a little knock, but hopefully, here's to better things, and he's starting in this game. Another thing that I did see too in the reserve squad, Ronald Collins is going to get a start, and Maurice Jackson is on short-term injured reserve. So that's a little blip for the Vegas Nighthawks. That's all I really know. Let's go check out our best bet, and let's go talk to Aaron. All right, best bet, under 102.5. It's just a lot of points. And I know San Antonio was in a 61-69 battle against San Diego. Vegas has put up points of their own. They're expecting a lot of points in this game, but maybe I'm just stupid and naive. Yes, I am. I know. I just think that's a lot of points. I think Vegas can run the ball. San Antonio could probably run the ball too. These are two very good teams offensively. Yes, San Antonio's defense has given up some points and things along those lines, but I don't know. When people zig, maybe you got to zag here. I'm taking the under 102. This could be one that bites me in the ass, but I just got a hunch. Sometimes it doesn't work. Let's go check out our predictions with Aaron. All right, welcome to Aaron's IFL Corner. Y'all know Aaron. He's going to pop his picture up right here. As usual, check out his article on the UFL News Hub, and everything that I kind of paraphrase and predict and stuff here, he's got over there. So go check it out. That being said, let's get into it with game number 1. We've got trusty paper, Iowa at Massachusetts. On the Iowa side, Aaron says they've kind of struggled. I mean, it's not news at this point, but they've kind of struggled even though that Darius James-Peterson is healthy. He needs to get the ball to Kean Williams on offense, and they need to get in rhythm early and often in order for them to keep pace and possibly upset Massachusetts. They need to find a way to stop the running game of the Pirates, and defensively, they need to put a stop to Massachusetts as a whole. For the Pirates, on their side, it's pretty much, like I said, more of the same. They're coming off a bye week. They should be more well-rested. They don't have to travel. And Benefield is consistently found as playmakers at wide receiver. Jimmy Robinson is playing some of his best game right now. And Massachusetts just doesn't lose at home. If they stay healthy and continue to do what they do, Massachusetts should win. His prediction for it, 50-37 Pirates. Mine, it's actually pretty similar, 49-34. I got the Pirates winning by 15. They cover the spread. He's got them winning by 13. So whoever you like more, I guess, bet whichever way you want. But anyway, there's that. We go on to game number 2. San Antonio at Vegas. On the San Antonio side, Gunslingers have had a difficult start to their first year in the Indoor Football League. Offensively, Castronova has been nearly unstoppable, and they've been able to score effectively. Okay. Defensively, they've struggled to get stops, and the Gunslingers have come up short 2 games in a row. If the Gunslingers intend to get their first win, they've got to find a way to stop Jerome Johnson running past their defense. He's been a great dual threat guy. On the Vegas side, they've emerged as an early playoff contender. Jerome Johnson is the clear leader, and he's been able to elevate his play with the weapons that he has on offense. Defensively, they've been able to get critical stops, allowing their offense to lead them to back-to-back wins to start the season. So, defense is helping the offense is helping the defense. Jerome Johnson is the guy on offense. He hasn't named a guy on defense, but has there really been a guy to emerge yet? Let's see if there's one tonight. His prediction, Vegas 56, San Antonio 52. I don't have it that high scoring. I do have Vegas winning, however, 49-42. There will be points. I just don't think it's going to be that many points. But that's it. That's our Friday night predictions. Both games. You get to watch both of them. They don't start at the same time, so you get to plan your night accordingly. But that's it. That is our Friday night predictions, previews. Thank you to Aaron for always providing his predictions and his articles and stuff like that. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys liking, comment, and subscribe, and doing everything that you guys do to help the channel and help me, I guess, boost my ego. I don't know, but whatever. You guys know what to do. With that being said, I'm taking off here. We'll be back tomorrow, whatever. I don't really There's no really set schedule for this anyway. We'll be back for another recap of these two games, and then we will preview the Saturday game between Quad City and Frisco. Other than that, I'm taking off here. Enjoy your Friday games. We'll talk later. See ya.